Alright, we're in our notes 3-4 notes, which are on page 12 of your packet. And so now we're going over what happens when we have parallel lines in a transversal. And so parallel lines mean they're exactly the same, remember, and the transversal across them. So it's going to look like this. And something you can use to help you remember this vocab we're about to go over is look and see which angles look like they are congruent. Because looks are not always, you can't go by them in geometry, you have to go by definitions, but they can often give us a hint to whether we're on the right track. So if we look at them, say corresponding angles, which remember are this angle and this angle, those both look like obtuse angles, and that's part of our definition, is that corresponding angles are congruent. So congruent means the same. And also when I have alternate side ones, so if I have alternate side exterior or alternate interior, those are going to be the same. If I came to this angle and this angle, those are both acute. If I came to my alternate interior, this one and this one, those are both obtuse. So my alternate side ones and my corresponding are always congruent. Alright, and supplementary, remember supplementary means we add to 180. And so when we're dealing with parallel lines and transversals, everything either measures the same or adds to 180. And so the 180 are the ones that would add up to make like a linear pair, except they're spread out. So those would be my same side ones. So same side interior and same side exterior. Okay, regardless of whether the lines are parallel, we still have vertical angles. And regardless of whether the lines are parallel, we always have the supplementary linear pair. Okay, so we're going to do a quick review, see what you remember from last class, see if you can label these angles, and then tell whether they're congruent or supplementary. So pause your video and do that. Alright, and then go ahead and check your answers. So 1 and 3 were corresponding, both on the top there, congruent. This is our congruent symbol. Alternate side interior are also congruent. Anytime you see alternate side. 4 and 5, alternate side again. 2 and 3, same side interior is supplementary. 1 and 6 are just vertical, and they're congruent. And 1 and 4, same side exterior, which is supplementary. So go ahead and flip over to the next page. So now that we know which angles equal each other and which angles add up to 180, we get to write and solve some equations. And so first we're going to identify the type of pair, given that they're parallel. If it doesn't give us that definition, we can't assume that they are congruent. But these are my alternate interior. They're both on the inside of the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal, which means they equal each other. So I set up 2x minus 10 equals 3x minus 40. And then we go ahead and solve. So that was my alternate interior. And I solve by subtracting 2x from both sides. That cancels out. I have negative 10 equals x minus 40. And I add 40 to get 30 equals x. And so my answer is 30. If I want to check, I can plug it back in. 2 times 30 minus 10, so 2 times 30 is 60, minus 10 is 50. And on this side, 3 times 30 is 90, minus 40 equals 50. So I know I did my math right. They equal each other, and they're both acute angles, so it's good. Right, example 3, do they equal each other or are they supplementary? So we look, those are my corresponding angles. And I check myself. Yes, they both look acute, so I did it right. And so again, they just equal each other. So 4x minus 30 equals 2x minus 14. And I solve it. Cancel out that. Give me 2x minus 30 equals negative 14. I add 30 to get 2x equals 16. And then I divide to get x equals 8. And again, I could plug it back in or type it in my calculator. 4 times 8 minus 30, which would give me 32 minus 30, which equals 2. 2 times 8 is 16, minus 14 equals 2. So I did my math right. And you'll see, that does not look like a 2-degree angle. That would be a tiny, tiny angle. Things are not always to scale in geometry, but they do follow the rules. And so I know I did it right. Alright, and then see if you can name this angle pair. And so these are on the same side. And they're interior, they're in between those two lines. And so same side interior means they're supplementary. So now I add up 5x minus 32 plus x plus 8 equals 180. And then I start by combining my like terms. So 5x and x gives me 6x. I'm on the same side, so I just add them. And then my negative 32 plus 8, I combine them, negative 32 plus 8, which gives me negative 24 equals 180. And then I solve it out by adding 24 to both sides. 6x equals 104. Divide by 6 to get x equals 34. Right, so when you have that, go ahead and flip over one last page. So here, it's the same thing we've been doing, but instead of writing it in for us, it gave us the words. So angle 1 is 7x minus 3. So we're always, if it gives us words, we're going to label first. So angle 1 is 7x minus 3. Angle 5 is 8x minus 19. Find the value of x in angle 4. So here we have to check, are these even parallel lines? And yes, these symbols mean that they are parallel. So when you see the little arrows in the middle of the line going the same direction, that's a parallel symbol. And so it means this is our transversal. Those are alternate sides of the transversal, and they are exterior. So it says alternate exterior angle. We also know when we have parallel lines, they're either going to be congruent or supplementary. They're both obtuse, and so that means they will be congruent. So 7x minus 3 equals 8x minus 19. And we solve. So minus 7x to give me negative 3 equals x minus 19. I add 19 to get 16 equals x. And then it asked me to find angle 4. And so first I'm going to plug it in. So 8 times 16 minus 19. And when I do that math, that gives me 109. Okay? So this was step 1, was solve for x. This is step 2. Is plug it in. Plug in my 16. And then asks me for angle 4, so step 3 is subtract from 180. because I know that 4 and 5 are a linear pair. And so I do 180 minus 109 to get 71. So when asked you to solve for an angle, sometimes with another 2 steps, sometimes we have to plug it in and subtract to find our angle. Alright, last one. This one is almost the same thing, but they gave us a few more numbers here. So first, label. And so angle 3, 8x plus 3. Angle 4 is 20y minus 3. Angle 7 is 11x minus 12. And so I look at what they give me. I have a linear pair here, but that has both x and y. That's not enough information for you to solve. Here, these are my parallel line symbols, and so I can use, say, the transversal parallel lines to recognize that these equal each other. So first step is going to be solve for x. So I have alternate interior, which means 8x plus 3 equals 11x minus 12. And then I solve, so minus 8x, get 3 equals 3x minus 12, plus 12 to get 15 equals 3x. And then I divide by 3 to get x equals 5. Alright, and then my step 2 is going to be to plug it in. So do 8 times 5 plus 3 to get 43. And then I go ahead and just set up an equation. So I know I have a linear pair, and so the 43 that I just solved for plus 20y minus 3 must equal 180 because it's a linear pair. And then I solve. So I combine my like terms. They're on the same side, so 43 minus 3 is just 40. So 40 plus 20y equals 180. Subtract the 40 to get 20y equals 140. And divide by 20 to get y equals 7. And I am finished.